Curse you, Japan, and your freaking barbecues. I wish I was there. Anyways, though, I have watched this anime a long time ago, and it's known as SteinsGate. And my gosh, man, I forgot how peak it was. And I also forgot how confusing it was as well, which is why I rewatched it. And my gosh, it feels like I've rewatched it for the first time, and it feels amazing. There are things that I didn't even catch on my first watch through. Obviously, I understood more than what I did before because the first time I watched this, I think I was in like freshman high school. My brain was still developing. Hell, it's still developing, but I still couldn't process anything that was going on. Yeah, I was a fan of time travel, but I really didn't understand any of the theories that were going around, and my brain couldn't keep up with all the back and forth and D-mails and all the butterfly effects that were happening, as well as the actual meaning behind Steins Gate. And I didn't even understand what the actual time travel machine was. So everything just went over my head. But this time, dude, my gosh, again, my brain is still developing, but I was still able to comprehend everything that was going on. Going back to my first watch through, I did watch Steins Gate, I did watch the OVA, and I did watch the movie, but I did not go any further than that. I don't know why. I thought it was a good idea not to watch SteinsGate 0 because I like searched up, is it worth the watch? I am so stupid. I wish I gave myself the good old backhand and told myself to actually watch SteinsGate 0, but I didn't end up doing it, all because of one Redditor. And oh my gosh, man, I really wish I could go back in time and actually watch it. But actually, I take that back, because I wouldn't have been able to experience what I am experiencing right now. Although I haven't watched SteinsGate 0 yet, I did watch everything that I did in the past, that being the first SteinsGate season 1, if you want to call it that, the OVA, and I'm about to watch the movie, and my gosh, I am ready for all of it because I forgot how peak this entire series was. I love this series so much. I think it's better than any of the fiction that exists that involves time travel. I think this is the best time travel form of fiction of all time. Now, that might be recency bias, but from what I recall, at least watching this from my first watch through, I still thought the same thing, and I still think of that to this day. Also, a quick little deal: if you haven't watched SteinsGate at all, I highly recommend you do before you actually continue watching this video. But there are just so many things to love about this anime. I mean, one, you got the setting, right? It's like in the early 2000s. Things are still developing, but they still come up with a time travel machine in the form of a freaking microwave. Holy crap. Did not expect that my first time. And watching this again, it felt nostalgic. I'm like, damn, I forgot. It's crazy how they ended up making a time machine out of a microwave. And then the first and most unique thing about this whole time traveling thing is that they use two elements. One, they use D-mails. D-mails is what goes to the past, essentially makes the time travel possible. But we wouldn't know what time traveling, or if the time traveling even took place, if it weren't for our main character, Kyoin Kuma, our mad scientist, son of a bitch. And he is pretty much the reason why we're able to witness all of this time travel, because he has the reading Steiner. That pretty much makes it to where his consciousness is able to go back in time and experience those different world lines. And my gosh, man, at first I was completely overwhelmed with the amount of information trying to understand what the world lines are. Just to give you like a very rough summary, a world line is essentially, this is our main world line, and in that main world line there are different world lines that are expanding outwards, and every single time that our main character sends a D-mail, he hops over to a different timeline where minor thing changes. It could be minor, it could be major, but for the most part it's minor, until something that he's not supposed to do ends up affecting it to the point where it's a major change. And he does that over and over again, and it gets to the point where our poor little girl Mayuri gets freaking cooked. She gets clocked in the worst way possible. It feels like a betrayal, because the shining finger is the one that puts an end to her life. How the heck did that happen? Why the heck did that happen? We don't know until towards the end of the series, where it is the most shocking truth of all time. And I completely forgot about this. Well, not entirely who was behind this FB name, but how he also goes out. Oh my lord. But yeah, no, I was just completely shocked on seeing that right there. I completely forgot that even happened. But of course, everything gets fixed kind of, and everything just goes back to normal when Okabe just decides that, you know, I can't sacrifice Mayuri, I have to sacrifice Christine. And unfortunately, she does die the first time, but then it gets fixed with the actual time travel machine where it was necessary for Kirisu to actually, you know, bite the bullets. But, you know, it just all works together. And the way all of this just comes into like a full circle is magnificent. Holy crap, man. I am so happy that some of these characters were able to retain some of their memories. It's not really memories. They're not like fragments of like of their past or other alternate selves. It's just like, I forgot how the show explains it, but it is a gut or like an intense feeling of what they did experience in the, you know, alternate timelines. So I guess you can kind of say that it was vague memories of what could have been. They don't know themselves that it's true. They describe it as a dream, and that's all it really can be. And we really don't know whether those world lines that Okabe experienced were actually real. We don't know if he's actually alive or actually present within those world lines or those different timelines, and we don't know if they are completely erased. All we do know is that it is somehow all managed back to where he is or currently was before. At least that's what we think that actually happens. Now, it's just a time travel series. It's a time traveling anime, so a lot of things can change. Now, one thing that I will say is that it seems to me that SteinsGate, it really does egg on their series a lot. Not necessarily the anime, but their visual novels, as it has been reoccurring that the first SteinsGate came out, then they came out with like a plus version of it, which did, I guess, polish it a little bit more, but they seem to be just a little bit lazy because they ended up using some scenes from the anime and not their own original things. And then next thing you know, we got a recent announcement that they're going to remake it all over again with a more polished art style, but I like the way they look. And that's one thing that I also wanted to mention about the visual novel as well. Oh my gosh, man, I am one of the biggest fans when it comes to this art style. I don't know, it just looks so rough and it looks so, I guess, edgy. I just like the way all of these characters look. It kind of reminds me of like the end credit scene and light novel version of Saga of Tanya the Evil. I mean, they kind of have that similar like crazy rough looking image to it, but they're, I don't think, are made by the same creator, so I really can't make that connection there. But my god, man, all I really gotta say is if you have not watched SteinsGate, I highly recommend you do. And if anything, if you don't understand the first watch through, give it some time, let it marinate, and then rewatch it again. I know that this anime is definitely not for those that have the attention span of a goldfish or those that have a TikTok brain, because that is your worst enemy. You're going to fall asleep, you're going to LARP it, and you're probably just going to be like, yeah, no, I don't know how people like this anime to begin with. Just letting you know right now, if you do not have the comprehension or the attention to actually watch this anime, it's not going to be for you, and I am sorry. You're not going to be able to experience peak. It's just something that you have to develop. You know, you got to build your brain up a little bit more. I'm not saying my brain's big, I'm not saying that I have the best attention span, but all I'm saying that if I'm able to do it, you are able to as well. But yeah, no, that's all I really got to say. Today has just been a full-on glaze of SteinsGate. I'm not mentioning the movie, nor am I mentioning the OVA, because this video would just drag on for too long. I am already a fangirl of this anime. You already see me kicking my feet up in the air. So that's all I really gotta say. Anyways, though, let me know what y'all guys think about this anime series. And if you played the visual novel, tell me the differences between them. I am actually going to download and play those myself to figure them out. But, you know, if you beat me to it, go ahead and comment it. I would like to see what these differences are. Anyways, appreciate y'all for hanging around. If you made it this far, why not drop a like and subscribe, as that does help around my channel a lot. Anyways, though, y'all have a wonderful freaking day, and I'll see y'all next time. Adios, guys.